Somewhere in the world, in a small room where the walls hold more secrets than paint, a lone lantern burns softly. Its trembling light dances across the floor, touching scattered pages of an old Quran, a worn prayer mat, and the silent figure of someone who has run out of answers, but not out of hope. Their hands shake, not because of fear, but because of everything they've been carrying alone. Days of exhaustion, weeks of unanswered questions, months of silent endurance. Yet tonight, this night, feels different. The air itself feels suspended, as if the universe is waiting. The believer leans forward, forehead nearly touching the ground, and lets out a breath that quivers like a final holding place between breaking and believing. A whisper escapes. Ya Allah, guide me. I don't know what's ahead, but you do. The lantern flickers again, as if responding. But let me ask you something. What if I told you, in the next 7 nights, your life could change forever? Not through luck, not through chance, but through something deeper, hidden, ancient. A divine rhythm woven into the stories of those who came before you, and those who walk this earth today. Because the secret of 7 nights is not a myth. It's a journey, a test. A quiet unveiling of blessings that begin in silence and bloom when patience is at its thinnest thread. And tonight, we begin that journey through real stories of real people. Survivors, believers, souls who held on to faith in the darkest moments and witnessed miracles unfold in ways no human could predict. Stories happening right now across the world, and stories from the Quran that mirror them with a beauty almost too precise to ignore. But before we move forward, pause for a moment and breathe. If you've ever faced a night of despair, hold this promise close. Watch till the end. Because the secret isn't just about 7 nights. It's about what can happen to a heart that refuses to give up. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publication on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Real world story. Number 1. Buried Hope. The 2025 Myanmar quake. Night had settled over a city that never imagined such destruction. In central Mandalay, a building, once full of life, had collapsed under the force of a devastating earthquake. The tremor was merciless. Walls turned to dust. Concrete crushed hopes, and the cries of the living were swallowed by the wreckage. In the darkness, many believed the light of rescue had died forever. But silence and destruction did not stop hope. In the hours, then days after the quake, local people, not rescue teams, but ordinary neighbors, crawled through broken walls and cracked concrete. With bare hands, makeshift tools, determination and trembling hearts, they dug. They listened for faint moans. They reached under beams. They refused to surrender to despair. Imagine being trapped, not just for a night, but for endless hours, with dust choking you and uncertainty overwhelming you, holding onto life by the thin thread of breath, every second blending into eternity. That was reality for many. Then the miracle. Rescuers pulled survivors. Children teachers, a 63-year-old woman, Alif. One woman was found after 91 hours buried under rubble. She emerged startled, trembling, dusty, but alive. Around her tears, gasps, sobs, gratitude overflowing in the midst of grief. Families clung together, strangers wept. Volunteers held her as though holding hope itself. 24 hours before, she was forgotten under concrete. Now, she was proof. Even when the world seems silent, rescue can come. Even when death seems certain, mercy can break through. This was not the act of machines, not heavy equipment, not distant armies. It was the hands of people moved by compassion, by solidarity, by love, digging, lifting, praying, refusing to concede defeat. In that moment, as dust cleared, hope returned. Hearts heavy with sorrow and loss found themselves breathing again. The faint sound of life under rubble became a cry of faith, a testament that in the darkest nights, human solidarity and trust in divine mercy can spark a new dawn. Imagine being trapped under rubble for days, darkness all around. What would you believe in? What prayer would you whisper? Share in the comments. What would be your anchor? Let the viewers put themselves in those shoes. Let them feel the dust, the fear, the hope. Let them empathize with those who endured and with those who rescued. Because this story isn't just about survival. It's about faith, patience, humanity, and the miracle of second chances. Quranic parallel, reflection. The patience of Ayub, faith beneath the rubble. As rescuers in Myanmar dug desperately through layers of collapsed concrete, hoping for signs of life, there was an image that echoed through time, a figure from the Quran who also lay beneath the weight of suffering, unseen by the world, but never forgotten by Allah. Prophet Ayub, a man whose story is not one of prosperity, but of endurance. He was once wealthy, healthy, surrounded by family and comfort. Then, one by one, the blessings were taken. His health faded until he could barely move. His wealth vanished. His companions left. His body ached. His home emptied. His world darkened. But his faith did not break. In the Quran, Ayub turns not with anger, but with a whisper. Indeed, adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:83. One sentence, one breath, one heartbeat of patience. Ayub lay in his pain the way survivors lay under rubble, still, unseen, unable to escape, uncertain of when relief would come. He had no timeline, no visible path out, no promise of when mercy would arrive. Yet he believed in the unseen. He trusted that every second of waiting was still within God's knowledge, still within His mercy. And after years, not hours, not days, Allah lifted his suffering, restored his health, and returned blessings beyond what he had lost. A reminder that the tests are not abandonment. They are pathways to miracles. Just as the woman in Myanmar emerged after 91 hours buried beneath destruction, Ayub emerged from his long trial with strength, renewed life, and blessings overflowing. In both stories, separated by centuries, the message is the same. Sometimes faith glows brightest when buried under darkness. Sometimes hope breathes quietly beneath the heaviest weight. Sometimes the greatest miracles arrive only after patience has been stretched beyond what the heart thought it could bear. Because faith isn't proven when life is easy. It's proven when the night is long, when the wounds are deep, when the answers are delayed. So if your life feels like rubble is pressing down, if you're waiting for your own rescue, your own relief, your own dawn, remember Ayub. Remember the survivors. Remember the 7 nights. If you still hold on, even when the world seems dark, you are not alone. Hold on to the promise. Tag someone who needs to hear this. Real world story number 2. 7 nights in a tent of waiting. Far from the rubble of earthquakes, another kind of night unfolds. Slower, quieter, but no less heavy. It is the night of displacement. In a refugee camp on the edge of a desert, the wind is sharp, slipping through thin canvas walls as families huddle together for warmth. The air smells of dust and distant fires. Children curl against their mothers, wrapped in blankets too thin for the cold. Their fathers stand outside, watching the horizon for headlights that never come. Headlights that would mean aid, food, medicine, or even news. Some families have been here for only days, others for months. Waiting has become a language. Patience has become survival. Every morning begins with the same question: will today be the day something changes? Every evening ends with the same whisper: Inshallah, maybe tomorrow. Food is scarce. Meals are often nothing more than bread softened with water. Yet somehow, in this place stripped of comfort, generosity blooms. A mother tears her portion in half for a stranger's child. A young man gives up his only blanket to an old refugee, shivering alone. When someone falls ill, neighbors gather, offering herbs, prayers, warm hands, whatever they have. At night, when darkness swallows the camp, a beautiful sound rises, not from loudspeakers, but from hearts. Quiet recitations. Dua whispered into palms. A small circle of women praying together by lantern light. Faith, flickering like flame, refusing to die. For these families, the 7 nights are not literal. Their test stretches longer, deeper, heavier. But their patience transforms the camp into something sacred, a place where waiting becomes worship, and where hope takes the shape of breath itself. And just like the survivors pulled from rubble, these families hold on to belief that Allah sees, Allah knows, and Allah's timing is never late. They wait not with empty hands, but with open hearts. Do you know someone who's waiting? Waiting for relief, guidance, hope? Share this video with them. Let this light reach them. Inner lessons and spiritual reflection. The night inside us. When we place the stories side by side, the woman pulled from rubble after long days of darkness, the families waiting in desert winds with empty hands but full hearts, and the ancient endurance of Prophet Ayub, a single truth emerges. Sabr is not passive. It is an active form of strength. Patience in Islam is not sitting still. It is believing in Allah while moving through the storm. These stories teach us that even when everything around you collapses, the heart can remain upright. Even when every door seems sealed, Allah holds the master key. And even when prayers feel unanswered, they are actually unfolding in ways we cannot yet see. This is tawakkul, reliance on Allah, not because life is easy, but because He is capable. Allah does not test to break us. He tests to build us, to elevate us, to carve out a deeper space within our souls where blessing can rest. Your test may not be rubble or displacement. Maybe your 7 nights are silent and invisible to the world. Maybe your trial is the job that slipped away when you needed it most. Maybe it's the diagnosis you never saw coming. Maybe it's grief you carry quietly. Maybe it's loneliness in a crowded life, or heartbreak no one knows about. But the principle remains the same. The night is a test. The dawn is a promise. When you feel empty, Allah fills you with resilience. When you feel lost, He guides you quietly. When you feel weak, He is preparing strength within you that you will only understand later. And in the meantime, we are called to reflect, to pray, to give, to support others whose trials are heavier. A small charity, a soft word, a sincere dua, these can be lifelines for someone living their seventh night without relief. Faith isn't shown when everything is going right. Faith is shown when nothing makes sense, yet your heart refuses to let go of hope. Pause the video, reflect. What is your current night? What blessing is Allah preparing for you? Write it down. Pray for yourself and for others. Call to action and engagement prompts. Your turn to speak, to hope, to believe. You've heard the stories of those who survived the impossible. You've walked through the nights of believers who held on to hope when the world around them was collapsing. Now, this part is about you. Every person watching this carries a story, a quiet battle, a hidden prayer, a dream waiting to be born. And just like the survivors under the rubble and the families waiting in the cold, your voice matters. Your patience matters. Your story matters. So let this be the moment you open your heart. What are you waiting for? What test are you walking through? What blessing do you hope will descend in your own 7 nights? Write it in the comments. Not for strangers, but for yourself. Sometimes speaking your hope out loud is the first step to seeing it unfold. And if these stories touched you, don't let them end with you. Send this video to someone who needs patience tonight. You might be giving them the reminder they've been praying for. Here's a small challenge, gentle but powerful. For the next 7 nights, dedicate just 2 minutes before sleeping to a silent dua or a small good deed. 2 minutes to reconnect. 2 minutes to realign your heart. 2 minutes to let mercy flow. You'll be surprised how much can change in 7 nights when intention leads the way. And finally, engage with the community here. You never know whose heart you may lift. If this story touched you, type Amen in the comments below and tag a friend who might need this message. Share one dua or hope you are holding tonight. Let this become a space of reflection, healing, and unity. A space where believers strengthen one another and hope is shared like light. Teaser. For next video, continuation. The stories you've heard today are only the beginning. Across continents, in countless hidden corners of the world, believers endure trials we may never see. Yet in every struggle, mercy quietly flows. Children finding hope in the midst of famine. Families discovering joy amid displacement. Hearts lifted by the unseen, subtle miracles that remind us faith is never wasted. Next time, stories of miracles after hardships, stories of invisible blessings in crisis zones. Stories that will make you believe again in the quiet power of patience, prayer, and divine timing. Don't miss part 2, because the flow of blessings often arrives when we least expect. Hit subscribe/follow. Turn on notifications, because hope and miracles might come when you press play next. Let this be a journey, not just a video. A journey where each night holds a secret, and every story leaves a spark of light for your own 7 nights ahead. Closing an outro, gratitude and dua. Thank you for staying with us through these stories of faith, patience, and resilience. We are grateful on behalf of the survivors, the families, and every soul enduring hardship whose voices we shared today. Let us make a simple dua together. O Allah, grant patience to the weary, relief to the suffering, comfort to the hearts in pain, and mercy to those in need. Share this light in any way you can, through prayer, charity, or simply spreading hope.
May this video remind us that even in darkness, faith shines. And remember, may Allah turn every believer's night into dawn, every hardship into ease.